Life can present so many dark moments. But when you're sitting in the dark, you have a tendency to believe that you've been abandoned or you're alone or that fear should run over you. But you're in the same place you are when the light is. The same God that brought you in the light is the same God who has sustained you in the dark. The same gifts and talents you had when the lights were on are the same talents and gifts that you have when the lights go off.
It's easy to use your childhood as a crutch instead of seeing it as a chisel. There are so many crutches people want to use to justify themselves, but for me, you have to eliminate every single one of them. Get rid of them all. Then tell yourself it's up to you. What are you going to do now that you let go of all those crutches? Blaming others is an easy way out.
Life is a game, and the rules of the game demand that we constantly lean into growth, purpose, duty over desire, purpose over pleasure, become congruent with the man that we want to be, to live a life of fulfillment and significance without anxiety and depression, shame or guilt, a life of sovereignty and freedom, to have peace of mind, and to have sound sleep when I go to bed at night because I carry no weight of guilt and shame. That is the man, the idealized version of myself that I am building. We all have a duty to become and create the most idealized version of ourselves, the man that we needed in our lives.
You don't even need faith when you're in the light because you can see everything. But when life goes dark, when things go bad, that's when you need faith to remember where things were, to remember that if I can only look up, I can see stars. And if I can see stars, then I can see that there are glimmers of light even in the darkest moments of my life.
Like often in life, when things don't go the way we want it to go, or we encounter something, immediately we want to understand it, right? Immediately, we want to understand it, we want to figure it out, we want to know, hey man, what is this, right? And sometimes something can be so tough, like can be so hard, right, that you're not going to understand it. I'm talking about it can be so real that you're not going to understand. It can be so real, like you can't go to the Bible and get a verse for it. Like it can be so real that you're not going to understand it. You just got to survive it, dog. Right? And by surviving it, the lessons come. The blessings come. The perspective comes. Most importantly and hopefully, the peace comes.
When you are feeling guilt, shame, anxiety, depression, it's usually because you are living incongruently with the man that you want to be. And therefore, your conscience is reminding you that you want to be 2.0. You tell yourself that you're going to live a better life. You're going to be vice-free, that you're going to focus on your nutrition and your diet, and you're going to focus on your family and your mindset, but you don't, and you give into the pleasures and the desires of life, and you ignore your duty and your purpose, and as a byproduct, you begin to suffer in silence. And you know that most men live lives of quiet desperation.
You will have good days and you'll have bad days, but you will always learn something more or something new, and you will learn more overall on bad days than good days. You will learn more about yourself, you'll learn more about relationships, you'll learn about life and principles, and it'll build your character. But unless you know three things: number one, who are you and what your value is? Number two, what is your purpose here in life? And number three, what is your destiny when you're done here? If you don't know the answers of any of those three questions, you're more disabled than I.
That there is a light that I've just got to adjust my eyes to. You see, that light represents hope. That light represents there's still a glimmer of opportunity still there for you. Do you realize that even in the darkest of caves, trees still grow? Things still grow because there's enough light that gets in that it can sustain, and it will grow towards the light. It will find its way towards it just as you must. No matter how many moments go by that it seems like you've been abandoned, you have not.
When it feels scary to jump, Ian, that is exactly when you jump. Otherwise, you end up staying in the same place your whole life.
If you break, the fight is just beginning. And as you crawl up and out of that dismal and wretched place, covered, and you're covered in blood and sweat and dirt and filth as you rise above what you were, and as you take the form of who you are supposed to be, you will see that in the very act of standing up, in the very act of fighting on, you will become and you will remain unbroken.
Take responsibility for it. That you make it happen, that you don't give up, that you don't take any objection or disappointment or defeats personally, that you keep on keeping on, that you don't decide that I can't make it because you can't see the light at the end of the tunnel, that you realize that's a part of the program. And here's something you've got to resolve. Say this to yourself every day. See, as long as you're breathing, you got a shot at your dream. It's not over until I win.
Sometimes things are gonna be so tough. Stop fighting it, stop trying to understand it, just survive it. Take all that energy and just survive it. Like, bro, day by day, moment by moment, situation by situation, just survive it, right? And then you're gonna get to a place, you're gonna be on top of the mountain one day, and you're gonna say, man, I see exactly why I had to face and go through that.